The fact of the matter is, whether you've been in network marketing for years or just a few days, your family and friends have seen your opportunity and your phone is, as we call it, burnt. If you're anything like me, that's a scary thought. So the big question is, how do entrepreneurs like us, who love the network marketing profession, who no longer want to be that guy, and are tired of convincing people during uncomfortable let's get coffee meetings where they say, what's this all about? How do we market in a way that aligns us with our dream clients and expands our network of upfront and transparent professionals, allowing us to get our time back, our families back, and gain a real passive asset? People like us who value impact over income, we deserve to see our visions once and for all. Join me in this podcast where we'll uncover just how to do that. My name is Eric Sablon. Welcome to Burnt Phone Marketing. Hey everybody, welcome to Burnt Phone Marketing. This is Eric Sablon. I got the honor today to interview one of my good friends. He's a digital nomad, a marketing expert. He's a publisher. He's a funnel builder and creator. So we like to call him a funnel hacker. And he just launched a brand new podcast. I'm super excited to welcome him. His name is Corey Benschop. And so Corey, welcome to the show.
Yeah, Eric, man, thank you so much for having me, dude. This is awesome, man.
Yeah, no problem. So I just kind of want to start off with a little bit about your backstory, where you kind of came from and kind of what got you into the entrepreneur, I would call it the roller coaster,
Yeah.
entrepreneur.
Yeah, it is a roller coaster. Yeah, for sure, man. So, well, about 5 years ago, really, is when I got started, and really, I had to make a decision in my life to kind of do something different. So, kind of the backstory. I've always been someone that kind of just didn't really fit into like the traditional route of what society tells you should do. Like, I mean, I was pretty good in school and stuff like that, but I was always the problem kid because I would just finish my work quick and then just kind of sit there and just cut up, and get in trouble. And then I went to college. I wanted to be a rock star. I played drums since I was a kid and like ended up going to school for like music theory. And I was like, what is this? Like, this isn't going to work. So I dropped out of school. But, I ended up getting a job in construction because I just needed to start making some money. And that job, like, out of necessity, kind of turned into a 10-year career. And so I was in construction for about 10 years. And it was like before I knew it, 10 years had gone by. And I'm starting to look at my life like, what is this really about? What am I doing here? And the other kind of side of the coin there is in the construction industry, people are really kind of negative in terms of mindset and outlook, and I don't know, it just never really like vibed with me. I had a lot of friends and stuff on the construction site, but for the most part, I wasn't interested in what they were talking about because they're always complaining about something. So I ended up just popping in headphones, man, and just started listening to podcasts just like this one. And, after about a year of just like listening to entrepreneur podcasts, personal development podcasts, mindset stuff, I just decided, there's a lot of opportunity out there and I probably could do this myself. So, it was 2014, January 1st. I went in and I gave my 2 weeks and I'm like, I'm done, guys. Like I just can't do this anymore. And I guess the rest is history, as they say. But that was kind of my start. And, really what brought me into the career that I'm in today, which is digital marketing and offering services, for clients. I started to learn about psychology and sort of why people do what they do. And then, traditionally, that brings you kind of to sales when you start thinking about business, because sales is one of those skills. Like if you learn how to sell, you can pretty much always be valuable in any kind of marketplace industry, whatever it is you're doing, because every company out there needs help selling their products. Businesses need help selling their stuff. And that kind of brought me to marketing and digital marketing. And I just really fell in love with it, man, because I realized I sort of had a talent for understanding like really technical things and then kind of breaking it down into a simple, sort of simplified way for other people to understand. And that just kind of married all together. And before you know it, I'm doing digital marketing, building websites, running Facebook ads, like the whole gamut, and that's pretty much where we're at today.
Wow, that's awesome. So, one thing that I like what you said was you got out of a spot where you thought that I like to call it the crab pot syndrome, where everybody's kind of just pulling you down. And then I always from stage say that, you're the average of the 5 people that you hang around with the most. And it was good that you put your headphones on and kind of cleared that space.
Absolutely.
The other thing is, like you said, sales is the key to everything. I mean, a lot of times if sales are good, everything else kind of looks away. Operations looks away. Everybody else kind of looks away as long as the numbers are there. And like you said, everybody needs sales, everybody needs marketing, and everybody needs to manage the expenses. And that's basically what this podcast is all about, helping network marketers learn to generate leads, learn to create sales and make them and close them, and then learn to manage expenses. Because I say, if you're managing expenses, it means you're making money because you're using the expenses to share your vision and share your product. So the second question I want to ask you is, what's your business? You kind of went over that. What's the goal of your business and your dream client? How can you explain your dream client?
Yeah, for sure. Well, those are great questions, man, because I think it's something everybody should be thinking about, when they're thinking about their own business, right? Because it all starts from who's your dream client. If you don't know who you're trying to serve, then you're really serving nobody, and you have no idea really like what voice to speak in. So for me, like I said, I kind of got into digital marketing really just through kind of scratching my own itch and finding my own sort of like what I was interested in when it came to learning about sales. And like you say, like it all started with sales, but like from there, just, we're all on a journey, right? And so like the sales led to the marketing, and the marketing led to the service providing. And then, before you know it, I kind of have like this agency going on where I've got, a lot of local clients really is where I first focused my attention. After a while, like I sort of transitioned away from local clients, like local businesses, brick and mortar type stuff. The reason being, when it comes to digital marketing, there's still quite an element of like education that has to happen there. Like these people, they've been business owners for a long time. A lot of them, they've used a lot of traditional forms of media, radio, television, print type stuff. And they have these budgets for that, but they don't understand the digital landscape quite yet. So there's a whole lot of education and sort of convincing that has to go on before you can really bring them on as a client. And then it's just like constant back and forth, trying to explain what you're doing, why you're doing it. And then if they didn't have the proper sales process, I mean, as anybody listening knows, like if you don't have a good sales process, it doesn't matter how many leads you get, you're not going to be able to do anything with them. So I've transitioned sort of away from the local business, even though they really still need my service. But in the meantime, I'm really focused on like online infopreneurs, people that sell information, as a product, or just like coaches, consultants, authors, people that already like are out there getting their message to the world, but they need help spreading it, getting it out to more people. I find that those are better clients. So that's really my perfect avatar right now is that, any entrepreneur that really has a message and a passion to get out to as many people as possible, I can really help them grow. I like to call myself kind of like the fuel on the fire. They already have the fire. They bring the fire. I want to be the fuel that goes on top and just blows the thing up. So
that's the fuel on the fire is a big deal. So what I like about that is you don't want to be convincing someone that doesn't believe, that's always asking, what's the ROI? How many leads did I get? Are these qualified leads? You're looking for that client that already has the message, but already believes that, internet marketing is the way to go.
Right.
And you're not always trying to re-explain why it's important and what the leads are. And, that's a huge thing, because once you can get a couple of those good clients, you're dialed in and they understand, and then they refer people, which is
right.
a big deal. So man, that's awesome. I'm super excited. So what are you working on right now? I mean, what is it right now that you're working on? I know I'm super excited because I'm going to be on your show, but I don't want to I want you to kind of launch it. What are you working on right now?
Yeah, man. Well, as you know, I got my podcast going right now. I mean, as the time of this recording, I literally launched the thing yesterday. So I'm pretty stoked about it, pretty pumped. And it's a new podcast called The Rising Entrepreneur. And, this is something that is, again, it's been like, it's the reason why I got out of my grind and started my own business was a podcast. And, you know, for me, it means a lot to me, like just this form of medium, because for whatever reason, it's what connected with me. You know, everybody has their thing, whether they like to watch videos or they like to read blogs or, you know, they like to listen to podcasts or what have you. Like, everybody has their thing. And for me, it just turned out to be podcast. And it's really what inspired me to start this journey that I'm on now. So for a long time, man, I've been wanting to create a podcast and sort of give back and hopefully, you know, provide that inspiration that I got in the beginning to other people. And so finally we got it going, man. And like I say, I just launched yesterday, so I'm really excited about it.
Well, we're going to repurpose this. So yesterday was August 15th, 2019. So congratulations. It's called The Rise.
The Rising Entrepreneur.
Rising Entrepreneur. Guys, he has got a boatload of phenomenal interviews on there. I saw the list. Just the first 20 was awesome. So when you decided to do the podcast, you had a goal of 20 interviews in. Yeah,
so actually, no, my goal really was to hit 50 interviews before I launched. No, I'm sorry, it was 40 interviews before I launched. And I made an announcement, like a public announcement, that I was going to be launching a podcast on August 15th, about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And this was before I knew what I was going to call it. This was before I had any guests on the show. Like, you know, like, I don't know. I'm just kind of the person where it's like, you know, I get an idea. I'm pretty spontaneous, man. I get an idea, and if it feels good to me, like if it feels right, I'm like, yeah, I got to follow this. And so I was actually in a Facebook group, you know, one that I think we're both part of, the ClickFunnels group. Mm-hmm. And actually I'm repping the ClickFunnels shirt.
I see that. I was going to wear that same shirt today.
But so I was in there and I saw somebody post something about, you know, hey, we just launched like 12 new podcasts and you know, 2 of them hit new and noteworthy or something. And like, I was just like, man, it just drove a spike into me, because it's something I've been wanting to do for a long time, you know? And I was like, all right, now's the time. I got to do it. So I went ahead and like piggybacked off of that post, and I was like, I'm launching a podcast too, you know? And I was like, who wants to be on? And it's amazing, man. Like, within just that one Facebook post, I got 10 or 15 like interviews lined up, you know, of entrepreneurs that were interested, because my idea was in my head for a long time. So I knew what I wanted. I just didn't really know how to flesh it out. Just things came together, bro. Like, you know, like I say, I made the announcement I was going to launch on August 15th. I made a goal for myself. I want to at least have 40 interviews like in the bag before I launch. And I was following kind of a process that I had just pieced and taped together in a really short amount of time. But I did it by following, you know, like really a mentor. He didn't even know I was like spying on him, but you know, this guy, he really helped me out a lot. Jamie Atkinson is his name. And then another guy, Apple Kreider. These 2 guys both are like podcasting, you know, just gurus. I mean, they've launched a bunch of podcasts. They've done really well. And they sort of built this process. And I kind of like looked at it from the outskirts. I was like, all right, I see you guys doing this. I see you guys doing that. I'm like, all right, writing down notes. I'm like, okay, this is kind of the process I need to follow. And it's just funny how things work out, man. Literally, the day, August 14th, the day before I launched, I recorded my 40th interview. And it's just like, when you set a goal, man, it just, if you go after it, you know, it's amazing how things can work out, you know? So I hit my goal. I got my 40 interviews. I launched with 9 interviews, you know, which was part of that whole launch process. And I mean, we're already at like 250 downloads. It just went live yesterday. So for me, I'm so grateful, man. I'm just blown away by how many people are helping me. They're supporting me, you know, they're sharing the message, getting the podcast out there. And I really think it's going to bring a lot of value to aspiring entrepreneurs and sort of the younger generation that's looking at, hey, what am I going to do with my life? And that's why I did it, man. I'm so grateful. Hopefully this thing will hit new and noteworthy and it'll be taken off before we know it.
Well, all of the things are kind of coming together. I mean, I actually saw a post where you were so stoked because day before yesterday, you actually got approved on iTunes. So literally everything fell into place the way that you wanted it.
That was crazy, man. I had, you know, because iTunes, they say it takes up about 65 to 70% of the podcast market. Like, most people are listening on iTunes, and that's just the way it is. It's not to say that Android, users aren't also listening to podcasts a lot. But the thing is Android users have a bunch of options, right? They can listen on Stitcher, they can listen on Spotify, they can listen on iHeartRadio, and so many other different players. So all of their listens go, out to multiple sort of distribution networks. Whereas everyone that's an Apple user, they all listen on iTunes. And so I knew, I was like, okay, I have to get this thing on iTunes, Plus, iTunes is the one that has the new and noteworthy section. So if you end up in that section, it's like you're getting promoted to millions of potential listeners for free. So like that's my goal really, is to hit that section. But yeah, dude, it's a whole process. You have to submit your podcast. They have to approve it. And I mean, as you've got your podcast out there. And so I submitted on Friday, this was my fault. I definitely should have done it sooner, but I think it was the 10th, August 10th. And then I'm like, okay, no problem. I'll get it like Monday or something, right? Monday comes around, checking my emails, nothing, crickets. Tuesday comes around, crickets. And like Thursday is the launch day. So I'm starting to sweat, I'm like, man, this is not cool. And so Wednesday comes around, and Wednesday morning I'm sitting there, and I pretty much just accepted my fate that they weren't going to approve me in time. I'm like, I can't postpone this launch. I've already got too many people lined up. I got a lot of momentum built, everybody's planning on emailing, promoting it on Thursday. I was like, I'm not going to just push this thing back and wait for iTunes. So I told everybody, I'm like, look, just send people to my website, instead of iTunes. And like literally 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday, I get the email from iTunes. Your podcast is approved. And I just like, what? This isn't me, man. So yeah, so I sent everybody the new links, and got them all to promote iTunes. And what's crazy is, like I said, I have about 200 downloads just for the first day. Like, I think 80% of those are all, so that's huge, man. I mean, if I wouldn't have got that approval, like those listens would have distributed to the other networks. But the thing is I wouldn't be getting that juice towards the new and noteworthy. Right. So the way I see it is like, when you look at a scale, or you look at a graph rather, there's things typically go on like this kind of bell curve where it's growth as long as people are still driving. Well, that small difference, that small trajectory is going to grow over time. And the fact that I was able to get that iTunes approval right before the launch, I really think is going to have a huge impact over the life of the podcast. So I'm just so thankful again that worked out, man. Everything, like you say, just came together right in the last moment.
Right at the last moment. Yeah, that's super cool. I'm super excited to listen to all of the 40 that you have so far. So one of the questions that I like to ask people is, how important do you think publishing is to your business?
I mean, in this day and age, man, it is imperative that you're publishing. You have to be out there, putting content, because here's the deal is, it doesn't matter what business you're in, but especially for network marketing, like your whole business is based on making connections and based on, your network. They always say your network is your net worth, and your network is online, whether you want to, believe it or not. Your network is online. People are online. Their attention is online. I mean, I don't have my phone with me, but like, what do you see everybody doing all day long? They're staring at their phones. Mm-hmm. Like their attention is on the internet. So if you're not publishing content and you're not putting your stuff out there, they're not going to know about you. That's just the bottom line. So I think publishing is absolutely imperative. And the other thing is, when you're thinking about publishing content, a lot of people, they're like, well, I don't know what to put out there, or, I don't know what to say. And really, there's sort of two strategies that you can take and sort of approach this problem of how do I put out content, right? The first is always come with value. Always come with value. And I'll say it again, always come with value. You have to bring value to your audience, all right? If you're not, then they're going to tune you out really, really quickly. And also, it's just goodwill, man. If you're helping people, you will get what you want, right? You help enough people get what they want, you get what you want. Zig Ziglar said it the best. So bring value, provide, content that helps people, right? Even if it's just like a small list of tips, or, just something that gives them an immediate takeaway, right? Because you never know who's listening, man. I've posted stuff that to me seemed like total common sense, And I get comments on there like, oh my God, just blew my mind. Like, thank you so much, you know? And it's like, I mean, to me, it just blows me away that, that kind of content can be helpful to somebody, but you have to understand, common sense, A, isn't common for everyone. And B, you never know where somebody's at in their journey. They could be just getting started. So the things that you think are like no brainers, like they still need to learn these things. And if you're putting content out there where you're teaching and you're providing value, it's always a good way to go. And then the other strategy I mentioned there too, the other strategy is to just document what you're doing. If you don't know, like, you know, how to put out content, or you're not sure what your voice is quite yet, just document your own journey. I mean, show people what you're working on, what you're doing. Like, I've literally done videos where it's like, all right, guys, you know, like, I don't have anything special for you today, but look at what I'm working on right now. You know, I'm working on this website and I've got this going and blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's still, it's interesting content, you know, and it's not like self-serving, because you're not, I mean, in a way you're saying, look at me, but at the same time, it's look at me with the idea that, you know, I'm building something. And just by the fact that I'm doing something, I'm working, it should inspire the person watching to get started on whatever it is they know they need to be doing, right? Because when people see people succeed, then they think about their own success, and it you know, it gets them fired up to do their own thing. So provide value and document your journey. Those are the easiest ways to get out there and start producing, but you have to be producing if you want to grow anything in just today's world. That's just what it's about.
One of the reasons why I did the podcast is because I watched one of my mentors told a story about Arsenio Hall. And I grew up in the 90s, so I know who Arsenio Hall is. And he was on The Apprentice. And he was tasked to go out there and basically raise money. Well, he came back and he absolutely raised no money. And he said, you know what's crazy is when I had a show, everyone took my call. Now that I don't have a show / platform / anything, no, but everybody's too busy.
Right.
So, and another thing on the journey, and this is kind of a teaching moment for the audience, on their journey, there's the dream, the struggle, and the victory. And most people relate to our struggles over our victory. So just know that, guys, when you're podcasting or when you're publishing or when you're doing any of that type of, you know, publishing, people relate to your struggles. So document your journeys. I mean, it's so much better. I mean, how much cooler is this story that we were our backs were against the wall at 7:30 before we launched it. If everything went perfect, everyone would be like, oh, well, you know, Corey's got it down. No problem. It's not a big deal. No problem with him. So the last thing I want to talk to you is, you know, you did what you're currently working on, and let's hit that one more time. What's the name of the podcast?
Yeah, man, it's The Rising Entrepreneur.
Okay. And then where can we find you online?
Yeah, for sure. So I've got a number. I mean, I'm on Facebook and Instagram, really are like the big social platforms for me. That's where I'm active. And you can just find me by searching for Corey Benschop. I think my tag, like my handle is Corey for Reels. I set that up a while ago. So Corey for Reels. And then obviously I got Corey.com. And also, if you want to check out that podcast, man, I'd love you guys to go check it out. I think anybody that's in business or, you know, thinking about business would benefit from it. So it's therisingentrepreneur.com. So yeah, you guys can find me there.
So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of those links inside the show notes, so you can quick link to all of find where Corey's at, and you guys got to take a listen and like, subscribe, and review Corey's podcast, because it's fantastic. He's got, like I said, some phenomenal guests. So the last thing I want to ask you is today, this is the last question. I ask this to everybody. In your business today, what's the one thing, good or bad, that keeps you up at night?
Well, first of all, I want to say thanks, brother. I really appreciate you, Eric. And you know, this is a great thing you're doing too. So thanks for the work that you're doing, man. But you know, one thing that keeps me up at night, I guess, I mean, I'll be honest with you, man, I don't have trouble sleeping. You know, like I don't have trouble sleeping, but when I think about what I'm fired up about and sort of what gets me up in the morning, that is, you know, like really trying to provide value. And I know it sounds cliche, but like, I don't know, man, I'm the kind of person where like, I'm not worried about myself. I'm not worried about, you know, what I'm going to get or how things are going to turn out for me, because I just sort of have this faith that I'll be taken care of as long as I use my energy and my resources to really help people that are in need, whatever that means. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe my mom taught it to me, or, my grandfather was definitely a big influence in my life. Just such, generous, grateful people for what they had. So that's kind of how I live, man. And so what fires me up is just, all right, let me get on. Let me see what comments are on, let me see what emails are there. Let me answer some questions. Where are people struggling, and how can I sort of make some content to help with that? And then, I've got my clients that I work for. They definitely are always begging for my time. So, that's definitely getting me up in the morning. But yeah, man, I'm just so in love with the life that I have right now. So I guess it's all good, baby.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you basically live off Zig Ziglar. If you can get everything you want. If you help enough people get what they want, you'll have everything that you want. And
100%.
That's super cool that you totally embody the abundance mentality. You can see it in the way you talk. You can see it in just, we're on a Zoom call, so I can see it in your eyes that it's a big deal for you guys, for you to really.
It is, man. It really is, man. And I want to stress that to your audience too, because, this is not something I haven't always been this way. I mean, I've always wanted to share what I've had, like it's funny too, because I'm an only child. They say a lot of only kids are really selfish, but I've always wanted to share my toys, man. And I guess it's just because I wanted to have friends, and I wanted people to want to hang out with me. And so, but this whole abundance mentality when it comes to finances, that definitely has not always been there for me. And again, it really was the podcast, man, that inspired me and helped change my mindset from thinking about like, okay, how can I cover my bills this month, and how can I get enough money, to be happy, and how can I get, enough money to go party on the weekend? And I just started realizing like, dude, that's not what it's about, and if that's your focus, and I made a post about this the other day, if you're always wanting for something, right? If you're wanting for money, like I need more money, I want more money, and like everything I do is to get me more money. Well, you're going to end up living a reality where you want the thing. Like that is the reality that you'll live. You'll never actually get the thing. You're just wanting the thing. By you wanting it, you continue to want it. You'll always want it. You'll never be satisfied. When you change that and you flip the script and you say, you know what, I already have it. Like I have everything I need. I mean, the world is great. There's so much out there. And as long as I, keep doing what I love to do, I'll have what I need. If you can just start, just fake yourself out in the beginning, but like think this way, it's amazing what shows up in your life, man. The opportunities, the people, everything is abundant. Like there's so much out there, bro. There's no reason for us to be fighting each other for scraps. Like there's so much out there. All you got to do is just believe that it's there for you, and you'll start getting it.
Wow. So yeah, that's one of the ones that I always heard was whatever you pursue eludes you.
Exactly. That's yeah, exactly, man.
So Corey, thank you so much. Hey guys, make sure you listen to the entire outro because I'm actually giving something away for free. You'll be able to download one of my free gifts. Just listen to the entire download. Just listen to the entire outro, and I'll give you something for free, something valuable that you really like. Again, thank you, Corey. Like and subscribe to both of our podcasts. And like I said, all of it will be in the show notes. And I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next episode of Burnt Phone Marketing. I know that network marketing can be tough sometimes, being that outcast, seeing that vision that nobody else sees. So what I did for you guys is I put together a summit of some of the top income earners in network marketing for free at www.burntphonechallenge.com/summit. This summit's going to help you with belief, it's going to help you with strategy, and it's going to help you with the steps to help you grow your business. So enjoy the free training, and I'll see you on the next podcast.